Hello viewers, good morning. Today I'm going to take you through our hospital software. Without wasting much time, first of all you have to go to master. The master gives you the interface of setting up your hospital. We have the hospital data. That is where you enter your tax, your logo, your general settings like your currency, your fiscal year, your numbering like patient's file auto number, any number that you want it to be recorded automatic. You set it either manually or automatic. Then you place your addresses and your phone numbers for the company or your hospital here. Then we move to the hospital structure. So I'll double click on one of them. This is the structure of the hospital. These are the departments. Okay, you can add more departments to it if you want to add or delete. These are the floors, so in case you have some floors in your hospitals. And we have wards. You select them, you create your own wards. You create your own wards here. These are the room and the number, and the bed and the number. So this is the structure interface of the hospital. Then we come to charges. So this is the charges interface, like consultation charges. You enter your consultation charges, the price for it, and then the department they used to charge and the specialty, and then the companies that you used to deal with them, also the charges you give to them, and then the national, and then the insurance. When it comes to insurance base, also how much you charge. It's either you use percentage or you use charges. Okay. Then we move to doctors and staff. So these are the staff's interface, and then the doctors. This is how it is. Their name, the time they use, the time they have to be present at the hospital or log on time, and then the arrival, and then break time, and then they should be off. You have to take. So this is how the interface looks like so far. Okay, then we move to insurance setup. This is the insurance setup. So this insurance setup is either you edit it to national health insurance, or you have different companies, you deal with them. Okay, so this is the insurance interface. Then we move to companies interface. There are some corporate companies maybe you can use to deal with them. Those companies too, you enter their information here. Then we come to suppliers that we use to collect drugs and other stuff from them. These are suppliers interface. Then we have the reminders. You have to key in all your reminders also here. This is referrers. You have to put your referrers here. We have expenses category. The expenses category also you have to key them or add. You can add more to this. That's expenses category. And then we have product categories also here. Then we have the product itself. You have to key in all the products here also. So this is how the product interface looks like. If it is drug, then is it tab, then you select all caps. Dosage, reorder limit, then you click make as charge. Product name, the generic, the strength of the product, the pack size, the unit price, and then the retail price, and then the manufacturer, and then the supplier. Then you save. So this is how it is. Then this is the lab test. This is where you enter all your lab tests also here. So you can click add and enter them here. Alright. Then we move to specialties also here. You key in all your specialties by adding it here. Then we move finally to access right. That is where the securities base is. So this is where the securities are. What can you do is either you can search, or you can edit, or you can delete, or you can add. So if you are not part of it, you cannot. So this is where the security setup is. What a doctor or what the pharmacy can do, what he or she cannot do, from the OPD to the revenue. Okay. Then when you finish setting up this, then you start entering your patient's file. This is the patient's information. We have patient's file, patient's medical records, patient's vaccinations, patient lab test, patient's prescription, and then photo X-ray. With this, you can upload the photos here. So this is the interface of the information about this thing, about the patients. So I can search for one patient like this and click on it. So this is the interface of the patients. This is the disease. We have disease, we have the referrers, everything that we entered, insurance companies is here, and this is the diseased. So please take a look at the information, well, the occupation, medication, and all this stuff. So this is the patient, and here too you can click and print the patient's medical records here. This is the patient's file. Sorry, this is the patient's file. You can print the patient's file here. Looking at the interface, you see all this doctors and all this stuff, and upload of pictures. Okay, then you come to, after filling the form, they come to patient's records. These records also will be entered at the OPD. They will search the name of the patients, and then the patient is going to see, and then the weight, the temperature, the BP, the height, the respiration, the BP, systolic, blood class, and all this stuff. This is the diagnosis. So you enter the diagnosis here, and it drops up. This is complaints, test conduct, results, and then charges. Okay, after you finish, you save. So once you save, the doctor also can open and then see the information about the patients, about the complaints and all this stuff. And then we come to the patient's vaccinations. It's also here. You enter the name of the patients, and then the doctor, and then vaccination. Okay, then you come to the lab test, and then here too you can enter the lab test here, and then the name of the patients, the test type, and then the doctor, and then you choose the test. Okay, then the results also will be placed here. Okay, now I save. Then you come to prescription. The prescription is based on the doctor, so the doctor will search the name of the person, the date, and then the prescription also drops. Then you pick the name of the drug, and then you prepare a prescription and save. So when you save the prescription, then this is X-ray also here. So here the X-ray have been taken. You can upload the picture like this. You can go for any picture that you want to upload, like let's say X-ray, and then you place it here. So the doctor can view the X-ray photo here, or view the photo big. If you want to view it big, you can select it. Okay, then when it's done, then we have admissions. If the doctor will admit the person, this is the admission interface. I'll double click one of the day. This is the departments and the rooms. This one moves with the calendar, like the appointment interface and so on. So you select and search bed, and then you select the department you want to book the appointment. So this is appointment interface. The date, you select the date, and then the room and the floor, the patient's name, the floor and all this stuff, the doctor who is admitting the patient, date in and date out. Okay, and then the time in and time out, and a short notes for it. Okay, so this one also deals with the reminder. If you want the system, it will allow you to, it will pop up as a reminder here. The system have a reminder here. The reminder gives a sound and gives you the date of birth of the patients, the patient's vaccinations, invoice due, expenses due, follow-up calls, events, reorder limit for drugs, and then other options for reminder. So if I take here, the system will start showing up it will start pop up for the reminder to start working. Okay, so from here we move to the appointments, daily appointments for the doctor. So if you have appointment for them, this is how the appointment looks like. Okay, the name of the patients and all this stuff, and the time you have to be here and all this stuff. So this is where you enter the appointment. Then we have the follow-up course. If you want to set up a follow-up course, this is it. Then we have the event also here to enter events, and this is the invoice information. This is the invoice and then receipt. The same interface gives invoice and receipts. So if someone is coming for an invoice, you invoice the person before you change it for a receipt. Okay, so this is the interface of the charges, and then the patient's name will drop, and then the service charges you pick, and then I select and give the number of drugs and other charges, and then the payment type. The payment type, you can add your NHIS here, also here. You can add it here. The type of payment you want, you can add to it, and then you save before you change it to what do you call it? It will prepare an invoice first before it will change to receipts. Okay, this is the expenses category, the expenses interface. Sorry. So these are the expenses, the utility bills, the unit I'm paying, description of it, paid, and then the supplier, and then to accounts of employee. So this is where you have to set up all your expenses interface, where you enter your expenses. And then you come to the pharmacy side. This is where the stores will do purchasing. Here, what we do is, this system allow the stores to do the purchases, but when it comes to giving out drugs, it's only the invoice side that will allow the drugs to reduce. Pharmaceuticals, they don't have access to their interface to see the drugs. They can go to the stocks here to view the number of stocks that left, but they can't do any editing here. This is where we do purchasing, the product, the doctor, or the staff, the one who is doing the orders, and I've entered an order, then I've add. Okay, so this is how it looks like. Okay, so this is the interface. this is the interface for it. So this is it. This is the interface for the order of drugs. So this is it. This is the number of drugs I've ordered so far, and then I save. No payment have been made, so it's the stores who have to make payment of it. So this is the drugs. So when you are receiving, you receive it, and then you receive date, the receive date, the manufacturing date, and then the expiring date for it. So let's say the expiring date is 2025, and then I apply for it and then make payment. And then edit, and then I successful. I paid some part, and this is my balance left. So I've received the drugs. So now once I've received the drugs, the pharmaceutical side, when it comes to invoicing, they can invoice a drug for a particular patient here. And the number of drugs, and I add. So this is it. So this is the amount, because one is 150 cedis. Okay. So this is the amount that I'm charging on this. So that's 600 Ghana, and then payment method. So here, if it is cash, I pay cash. If it is health insurance, you see NHIS here, and then you enter. So you can add your NHIS like I was saying here, and then you enter, then you save too. So once you save, it becomes an invoice, and this is the receipt. So once it becomes an invoice, you can print the invoice. You can print the invoice before you issue out the what do you call it, the receipts. So it depends how this interface depends how the hospital will will set up their own security basis for the stores, for the pharmacies, and then the stores, because the one who will do the purchasing don't have access to the invoicing as to how the drugs have been taken out. Okay, and then the one who also doing the invoice don't have access to the purchasing. So this is how you see the invoice interface. Okay, that's the service, that's the drug quantity 4, and then the price is what, 150 by 6. So it's cash. Okay, and it hasn't been paid, so it's an invoice. So it haven't been paid so far. So once it pays, once they paid for it, okay, then I can save it. I can change it to receipts. So now you can print the receipts. So there's no balance for it. It has been paid so far. Okay. So we have now received the amount paid on this particular patient. Okay. So This is the software so far, and then we have our profit and loss for the day. So we would now see how much we spend, we do the expense, and how much income we received so far. So this is it. So every day, or everyday expenses, the system will get you the information about how much you are spending and how much you are. So this is the software so far. If you want it, you can give us a call for us to come and install it for you. That is all. Thank you very much so much. Thank you.